Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depends on where you are watching on this beautiful, beautiful day. I am your host, Antoinette Marie Williams of Antoinette Marie Speaks, and you have just tuned in to Purpose Living. Let me go ahead and as you begin to also share with your contacts and your families. Let me do that right here. There we go. And refresh. There we are. So I want to just say to you on a day, today is a magnificent and beautiful, beautiful day. And so today, as you know, you've tuned into Purpose Living with Antoinette Marie Speaks. And I just want to know, how has your day been? How has things been on your side? You see me kind of going back and forth. Is it because my screen is on that side? How have things been going in your life and your children's lives and how all that is going? So I want you to think about that before we really, really, really get into it. And as usual, one of the things that I love, I'm going to change my intro. I'll be right back. Today, I wanted to just take a little bit of time just to let you know that you are important and that I love you. And if nobody ever has said it to you, you're going to hear it from me today. You're beautiful, you're handsome, you're divine. This is Antoinette Marie. All righty. Hello, Vaniqua. Dr. Vaniqua. How are you? I hope that you're doing well. I see that you said today was a busy day for my daughter and I. Tell me a little bit about it as we get into this on Purpose Living. It just seems as though you are correct, Vaniqua. It seems as though today has been busy. And one of the things about busyness is that I also want us to be productive, right? And I truly believe that everything that we do, and I hope that it's productive. And sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it isn't. And today for me has been very insightful. Today has allowed for me to think about a lot. But today, as we go in today and talking about purpose living, Vaniqua says, very busy but productive, the things we do to make our kids great. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. That is very, very true. Between my husband and I, we share 7 children. And the things that parents do to ensure that their children are well, to ensure that their children are safe, and to ensure that their children have a beautiful and bright future. We do some things, I tell you that. Hey, Courtney, we do some things, I tell you that. But at the end of everything, right? At the end of it all, I honestly can say it has been worth it. It has been worth it. You all know who I am, so I'm not even gonna do that big old purpose living. Right now, I'm not gonna do that. I'll just do that banner. So on today, as the last several weeks, we have been speaking about purpose living, what it is. I actually changed my area from the meditation room. Hey, beautiful Shima. From my meditation room to my office because I had said last week I was not going to allow for nothing to stop this word from going forth today. So if you have friends and family, let them know that Purpose Living with Antoinette Marie Speaks is on right now, because I tell you, God was dropping some some beautiful diamonds on today. And so I just want to give this to whomever it is to. So I want to say this to you. As I was sitting today and I was thinking about, um, you hear so many people talk about purpose living, but there's nobody like Antoinette Marie. However, with that being said, I wanted to say this. When we think about what we have been sent here on this planet called Earth to do, it is amazing that we are here. It's absolutely amazing, some of the things that God has already done. And one of the things I started thinking about was within purpose living, my notes, y'all, within purpose living, we have to be very, very aware of what we're talking about. We have to be very aware of what we're speaking on, right? The good book says that for as a man or a woman thinketh, so is he. That's basically who they are. And so it's amazing to me that if it's there, and now you have so many, like, I think this is just the era of mindfulness and thought leaders and individuals that are great creators, that are really talking about changing your mindset. They're right. Because today I began to, can we just have a conversation? How about that? Can we just engage in a back and forth conversation? I see yours, Faniqua, there. Because one of the things I started really thinking about was, who am I coming on social media for? Who am I living my life out for? And every single thing, it came back to, of course, for God. But the other thing, of course, it is for the people that I want to serve, or for the people that I want to help, or for the individuals that I want to support, right? And the resounding voice I kept hearing was, choose your thoughts purposefully. And when you choose your thoughts on purpose, then you will change your life. And so I think I've heard somebody say that, and I don't know who it is. I think maybe the Brandy Johnson has said that before as well. But I began to really kind of think about that statement, that if you choose your thoughts purposely, there's not anything that you cannot do. There's not anything that we cannot do. Because when I decide and when you decide to change not just what you think about, but changing how you think about it, like, there's a difference. So for an example, if you know that you have, you're going through, something or a struggle right now, or with whomever it is, yes, you can think about it in the magnitude of, wow, nothing's going to go my way. Why me? It shouldn't be like this. All those things that I have honestly said as well. But now, as I continue to grow and as you grow, I have to change how I'm thinking about a situation. Change how you're thinking about a situation. Give you an example. So this past week, I had a relative that has been really kind of going through some things, right? And I really want to help this individual. And so for me, because I am an intuitive person, a seer, whatever people want to call it, I began to go there, just like so deep into the spiritual, into the spiritual realm and some things. And just as much as I'm speaking to you, God, the Most High said, bring it down. Bring it down. You don't have to always go there so quickly. Some of us that have been spiritual minded and conscious of the spirit beings that we are, we want to go there first, like to get so deep into it. It's fine to go there, but come back. Sometimes we don't come back. We just stay there for a while. And so I began to think about that. And I remember God saying to me, yes, there are things that you can do spiritually for her, but there are also things that you can do just naturally for her. And one of the things that you can do is just to be present. And so I began to think about that and kind of ponder on it. I was like, wow. And even though that's not a deep thought, it's not deep logic, it brought me back to my center. It brought me back to where I needed to be, right? Because sometimes we could get so spiritual minded that we are like literally no earthly good. Like every single thing. Like, when do you activate certain things? And so one of the things that I said was today, as God began just to kind of, minister to me, he's like, you were made for this. And I was like, whoa, isn't it great to have a relationship with the great I am, right? And so when I heard that, and I was like, yeah. And so sometimes when you hear people say things, you got to just listen, not just want to hear what they're saying so that you can go back and rebuttal, or you can go back and, you're not really listening. You're just getting your next response together while they're talking. hmm Yeah, guilty. Um, and so one of the things today is that when I heard that, I heard God say to me, you were made for this. I designed you to be a helper. I designed you to have empathy. I designed you to go through everything that you've gone through so that you can feel, you can sense the pain, the anguish that other people may be going through. So one of the things that I remember when I had my one of my children, I went through something. I tell you, postpartum depression is real, and I went through postpartum depression, and I didn't understand it. Um, and for me, as a woman of color, particularly a Black woman, there wasn't necessarily a lot of data that was out there. I didn't even really know what it was. I didn't know the difference between, postpartum depression versus, compared to depression. And so when I started, you know, thinking about or reflecting on that, I started to think about, wow, okay, that's why you allow for me to go through that. Because now I understand when women come to me and they talk to me about, having children, and they didn't necessarily know why they felt a certain way, I can be a witness to say, I know what you're going through, right? Yeah. Um, so when God said to me that you were made, that I designed you for this, and you hear many folks say, for such a time as this. So one of the things that I started saying as an affirmation to myself, I started saying that this is my saying, I am prepared every single day for whatever comes my way. And I challenge you to start thinking in that vein, that every single thing that comes your way, that you are already prepared to go through it. You don't have to handle it. You don't have to handle it, right? And many of us just need to slow down. We just need to slow down. We just need to breathe. We just need to think about things and not let the emotion of things just kind of whirlwind us and just take us, right? And so I was very grateful today as I, heard, the creator say that to me. And the other thing, so I began to say certain things that, I can do all things, right? Even the hard things I can do. So I want to say this to you, Courtney, Shima, and Vaniqua, even those things that may be difficult, I want to let you know that you can do it. And you will go through it, and you will learn lessons as you go through it. That's also a part of the purpose living life that you have on this earth. And we know that things aren't always going to smell like, you know, um, nice Fruit Loops and peaches and cream. It may not always be that way. It's not going to always be that way. But what I do want you to remember is that in everything that you're going through, that it is purposeful. Even that thing that you may never want to tell people about, I truly believe that even that thing is going to be used. Even that disappointment. Let me tell you something, how difficult it was for me to have been with someone for 26 years and then go through a divorce. Yes, that was difficult. But tonight, what I want to do is I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you just so that you can know that you have been chosen. Uh-huh. And I also want you to start thinking and being more intentional about what comes out of your mouth. I want you to start really empowering yourself, right? I want you to start to say to yourself that you are spectacular and that you are amazing. I want you to start to say those things, right? I want you to start saying those things. And the other option is to speak negativity about your life. That's the other option, right? And we don't want to have that option. We don't want to execute that option, right? And so I want you to start to think very deliberate about what you're saying about your life. Choose your thoughts on purpose. So when you're choosing your thoughts on purpose, beloved, sometimes you got to slow down and not be so quick to speak. Because when you choose your thoughts on purpose, your entire life will change. And I know for me, I've always been that individual that's like, you got to come back. I don't know if you've ever been like that, Shima, like, I got to come back for you. And so as I go through this life and experience this life, I am teaching myself, one, to slow down. Two, you don't know everything. And three, give people an opportunity. Give people an opportunity. Don't always assume that you know what somebody else is going to say, right? I'm not even going to be on here long today. So the other thing is, when you decide on and being deliberately intentional about what you speak out of your mouth, that also means that you are deliberately deciding on how you're going to think. Because whatsoever man thinketh, that is what is in his heart. So be careful what you think, because it will come out and spill out into your heart, right? Facebook user, how are you? Said, preparing my next sentence instead of listening and hearing. Absolutely. I'm telling you, I used to and I find myself doing that even now, even with my husband, like he'll say something, or with even my kiddos, all of my children are adults, but even with my children, I might be on the phone with them and they're saying, and this happened and I'm like, oh, let me go ahead. And so we have to stop that. We got to stop that. We got to start really listening and being in tune, because, thank you, God, because let me tell you the reason why we don't do that. Let me tell you the reason why we are preparing our next sentence instead of really listening is because we think we got the answer already. We think we know what somebody is already going to say. And so we believe that we have the answer already. That's why we're not listening. And I want to say to me and to everybody, we got to do better, right? We can do better than that. So however you think is really going to also determine how you feel. If I'm always thinking about my past, my story, if I'm always just indulged in that, my story and the rejection and the molestation and the rape. Oh, some of y'all didn't know. Okay, we on here for real. If I continue to think about that, I would probably be in a padded room right now. If that was all I thought about was negative. If I only thought about the negative, I literally would probably be in a padded room, because this is what I know for sure, is that whatever you continue to think determines how you're going to feel. So if I continue to think about sweet potato pie, Thanksgiving's coming, y'all, and uh, collard greens and love and light, and thinking and knowing that, that I'm whole, that I'm enlightened, and I'm one with God, that I'm significant, that I honor myself, that I am divine, I am peace, I'm grateful, I'm serene, all of that, that I'm light, that I am complete, that I'm more than capable, that I accept and honor my spirit. If I continue to think like that, I will not be down. There's no way that you could be down if you are continually feeding, right up here, your thought process with gratefulness, with love, with surrendering it, with peace. There's no way. If I continue to think how I was left in a hospital at birth, if I thought about that all day long, every day, if I thought about it, and then if I continue to talk about it, come on social media, and that's all I'm talking about every single time, baby, please. Y'all will be like, what in the world? Can we do something else? So it's healthy and it's necessary for you to fill your mind with greatness, for you to fill your mind with beautiful things. One of the things as I attune and practice Reiki on individuals, I have them to go into this space where sometimes many of my clients have never gone there. They've never gone to a place of peace in their lives. It's always so staticky. It's always so hustle and bustle. It's always so I'm on the grind. It's always that. I want to say, and particularly to women, we got to pull back. There is no competition. You don't have to do so much because you see somebody else doing so much. And honestly, beloveds, you don't really know what they're doing. It's what you see. That doesn't really mean you don't know how they got there. I'll say it that way, right? And so we as women and men, but in particularly women, because I believe many times we carry a lot on us. We carry a huge weight on us, whether it's our children, as Vaniqua said, her daughter's 3. She said, and I never think it's too young to learn. So I block a 45-minute block early morning. Come on, for my own learning session with her. And she just blows me away. And on what her little mind can do. Absolutely. And continue to do that. Continue to do that. Because God has equipped you already, Vaniqua, to have a daughter such as who she is. And so that is, as a minor child, she's a minor child, that is your responsibility. So I want to give you a pat on the back for that. Rising early, Proverbs mom. I give you a pat on the back for that. And I want to say this to you. When we speak about purpose living, remember a couple things. Whatsoever you continue to think about, it will manifest. Doesn't matter what it is. If you continue to think about it and execute a plan, it's going to manifest. It's going to manifest. So I know many of you have life boards and vision boards. I used to have one, which you can't see over here. And then my husband, we did a little bit of redesigning and I ain't finished. But I ended up just putting mines over here. Right? And so as you get that, you want to continue just to think about, what is it that I want for my life? Right? What is your why? Right? What is your true love in life? And don't say candy. Don't say movie popcorn. I love me some movie popcorn too, but that's not in the aspect of being purposeful. And so I told somebody today, I asked her, I said, what is it that you really love to do? And sometimes, if we're truthful about it, we don't even know what that is. Hey, Michelle. Sometimes we don't even know what we truly love to do. We know what we like to hear, we know what we like to see, but what is it? We know what we enjoy. Maybe it's travel. But let me say this to you. If that's something that you know that you enjoy doing and you love to do it, and it makes you wake up in the morning and you're always, looking at travel information on travel, or you're looking on LinkedIn, or you on all these social media platforms, maybe you need to start a travel company. Maybe that's necessary, right? That's necessary. And so the other thing is that when you're thinking about purpose living, sometimes we're just afraid to put out here in the atmosphere what we really truly want to do. What we really truly want to do. And so in the last couple of weeks, as we've been talking about purpose living, one of the things I said is, one, what would you do for free? Not telling you to do it for free, but what would you do for free? That's one. For two, what makes you stand out and wake up in the morning and you just feel like, yes, this is what I love to do. Some people know that at 12. And we have stages, right? Some people don't get it until they're 50. And it's not because God didn't tell you what it is. It's because we probably just weren't listening. Right? Okay. hmm hmm So the other thing tonight is, I don't want you to continue to overwhelm yourself about your purpose just based on getting material things. It's nice, to have, nice things, and but then what? Once you got it, then what? Once you got the houses and the car and the land and the 401k, and you didn't establish the 529 for your children, then what? Right? I want to say this to you today. Many of us crave, just because, let me switch it around. Sometimes we crave coming home to ourselves. I'm talking holistically, I'm talking just spiritually. Because this is what I know is, many times we fake what we really love. We denounce things that we know that we really do want to do. And the reason sometimes why we do that is because we may not be able to make the money that we want to make. That also means that we don't have enough faith that whatever God has given you, it's going to work itself out, because you belong to Him. You belong to Him, right? I said a couple of weeks ago, if God is the manufacturer of our life, of our body, of our being, He has to, hey, you got a manufacturer warranty. Come on, God, in this room. You got a manufacturer warranty. And it has been manufactured by the greatest God ever. So I want to encourage you today. Sometimes we crave coming home to ourselves. Sometimes we know what we really love to do, but we don't know if it'll be accepted. Right? Many times we were told what we couldn't do, and we believed it. We believed it. Oh, nobody, a woman can never do this, or ask Michelle Obama. A black man can never do this, ask President Obama, past President Obama. Listen, I want to say to you on tonight, if you were told that you couldn't do whatever it is, you put that in there. Such and such told me that I could never do this. I want to say this to you tonight. You can do all things. You can do all things. Tonight, I just want to have this conversation with you about your life for real. Not the life that people see on social media, not the life that people externally see you living, but are you living the life that you want to live? Truly? My daughter and I, my eldest daughter and I, we were having a conversation. And I'm going to tell you, I have been there where there were things that I wanted in my life, but because I did not think that it could be profitable, there were things that I knew that I enjoyed doing, but because of my upbringing, I never tried to do them. I never tried, to do those things. And so I don't want any person, young or aging, to feel as though that and to know whether it is creative arts. I always wanted to sing in like an orchestra. I just always wanted to do that. Till this day, I've never done it. To this day, I've never done it. And that wasn't what I wanted to do for a living or professionally, but I just wanted, because I had gone, and gone to the symphony and gone to theater as an adult. And I would sit there, you know, in my seat, the nice red cushiony seats, and I'd be like listening to whether the play of Lady Macbeth or whomever it was. We have Hamilton is here in our city for the next month or so. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow. And it's so interesting the things that you have had some type of influence with, things that have had influence in your life. So for an example, when I was in high school, I was in what they call the chorus. Baby, I loved me some chorus. I loved it. And I had a song that I used to sing, and I am not going to sing it. I'm not going to sing it. But there was a song that I had the lead on, and it was in French. And I still remember every single word. And so what I want to say to you today is, even if people will say to you, you're too old for that, you don't need to do that, leave that for the young folk. Listen, do it anyway. If you see yourself playing the drums, playing the flute, the bass, whatever it is, cooking and writing a book, whatever, it could be a pocket book. It could be something small. It doesn't have to be anything large. Do it. Do it. Because I want to see you come home. I want to see you come home. And for times past, one of my intros, I would say, welcome home. Because for me, when I really understood what welcome home meant, baby, I'm telling you, I was saying all the time, welcome home, beloved. Because I understood that God created me for his purpose. And his purpose is great. His purpose has enlightened my life. His purpose will enlighten your life. His purpose will cause you to be connected. Be connected to the great I am. Accept and honor who you are. Accept and honor, Michelle, your spirit. Accept and honor who God has created you to be and designed for you to be. The other thing I want to say to you on tonight is write it down. Now, like the example that I gave you all, where, I always wanted to be in a symphony, and I think most of it had to do with being a part of something larger than myself. So if you ever been to a symphony or orchestra, and sometimes, there are hundreds of, I don't know if they're called background singers, but there are hundreds of people in this choir. I just have always liked being a part of a collaborative effort, because that's just who I am. Because when I'm in a collaborative effort, I see people's needs. I can see and sense people's desires. I can see, and I don't always want to see and sense people's pain, but what God does is what God does. And if God did it, and he's allowing for me to see that, that means that I am able I am able to be able. Come on in the house. I am able to be able, right? One of the things I heard a quote today, and it said, and I'm going to paraphrase, the day that you were born, one of the most important days were the day that you were born. I think this was Mark Twain, the day that you were born and the day that you discovered why. Do you know your why? Are you a solution to someone's problem? I said a couple of weeks ago that I was very excited about the next day because I just wanted to pay for somebody's groceries at the grocery store. I challenged some of us to try that this week. I challenge for us to know and to really, really, truly believe that you are the answer to someone's problem. You are the answer to someone's problem. And is it always going to be, iced tea? No. But I believe you have the courage to go through it. I believe you have the courage to go through it and enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Because I believe that all these blessings that God gives us, they should not be sorrowful. It shouldn't be. I know, we talk about abundant living, purpose living. Baby, let me tell you something. The great book been talking about abundant living since I can remember. Oh, you don't believe me? John 10 and 10. Check it out. Then let me know. John 10 and 10. All through it talks about abundant living, right? I also want to let you know that it is in you. That God has instilled in you abundance. That God has instilled in you what you need. God has instilled in you his breath, the life of God, the great I am, the source to every single thing that you need. He has already given it to you. He's already given it to you. Beniqua said, I was told what was expected to do, which just put too much pressure on me in life and is the result to what I allowed myself to go through. Come on, Dr. Beniqua. I can't blame, but as a child, impressing your mother is key. You're absolutely right. Now, Dr. Beniqua, now I came on here just to talk about this bit, but I tell you, what you just said is a whole word right there. And this is the area. One of the things I really truly believe is us as parents. Many times we have had individuals that have influenced us to do good in one area, to do good to our fellow man. And as a parent, I honestly can say that I didn't know everything to be able to help my children in every single aspect of their life, every problem of their life. I didn't know. And I think as Beniqua said what she said, if we can all be honest and true with ourselves, there's just certain things about this thing, this life, this purposely living life, that we just have to say to our children, I really don't have the best answer. I don't know the answer that you're looking for, but this is my answer. And I'm hoping that it helps you. Sometimes we just have to say that to our children. And when we begin to think that way, I really believe that our kiddos will have more respect for us. Our kiddos will start to trust us more. But when we come off, because we are parents, of feeling and speaking that we know everything, and I brought you into this earth and I'll take you out. When we say such demeaning things such as that, our children lose trust in us. Because I really truly believe as parents, we are our children's best and first teacher. We really truly are. But we can only teach them what we know. And then you have to allow, you have to allow other individuals that you believe, other individuals that you perhaps trust, or other individuals that they trust. It could be an auntie that can can speak to your son or daughter, and they will listen to them because they may speak it from a different point of view. So Vaniqua, I want to say thank you for that. I want to say thank you for that because we have a lot of pressure. We do what we are expected to do. But as we age and we become adults, I'm going to say it that way. When you become adults, so many things have already been instilled in us. And we're looking at things like, wow, okay, well, I was told this and I trust these people, my parents or whomever that may be, could be grandparent, could be whoever. And so this is the way I'm supposed to go. This is what I'm supposed to do as a career. I'm supposed to go to college. I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do this. Listen, I know so many other human beings that didn't go to college and that are doing well and they feel great. And I also know people that went to college and are doing well and feel great. You have to know what is your purpose, this is what it brings me back to. You have to know what your purpose is. Everybody don't need a 4-year degree. You can do extremely well being a part of an apprenticeship program. That apprenticeship program could be 4 years, could be 2 years. So I thank you for that, Vaniqua. Miss Shima said, I heard that. I too have always wanted to be collaborative, very seldom wanted to do things alone. Absolutely. And there's a place for that. And there's a purpose behind that. There's a purpose behind that because Shima, you have so much, you're like the greatest hospitality ambassador that I know. Like Shima can work a room. Like Shima, she's a thought leader. She processes things differently, and everybody don't have the gift of hospitality. Like some people just like, girl, bye. Let me write you a check because I'm not, I ain't gonna be ready to do that. Sometimes that's just how it is. But too much is given, much is required. And a lot of times we feel like people are worth more because they have the money. No, 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 no. Money is just a currency. Servitude is also a currency. Having time is also flow. That's all flow and currency, right? And so today, as you finish up your week, I know today is almost the end of the week. I want you to think about this. What is it that you love? What is it that fulfills you? What is it that allows for you to smile? Wow. What is it that makes you feel confident about yourself, right? What is it that brings value to you every single day? And what is it that the world needs more of? That's your service. What is it that the world needs more of? That's your service. And so I want you to be thinking about that. Yeah. Because this is also what I do know. There are going to be some things that are non-negotiables in your life. There are going to be some things that are non-negotiable. And when you have set things that are non-negotiable in your life, and there's something over there or there's something over here, and they're like, oh, come on, but you got to do this. Then we know that that's not for you. If you have small children, come on, God. If you have small children and someone is saying, oh, yes, we need for you to go to Perth, Australia. for 3 months, and you're going to be feeding the poor, and you're going to be helping the homeless, but you have minor children at home, and you don't have nobody to keep your children. You don't have a spouse, you don't have anybody to be there for your children. That lets you know it's a good thing, but it's not for you right now. See, that's the thing, because sometimes we feel as though, oh, we have an opportunity, right? And some things that come, they're not necessarily opportunities for you right now, right? Sometimes God allows for people to speak things into your spirit, and you're like, okay, I got to come back to that. It's almost like when you were doing the SAT and the ACT, there were certain questions that were on that test where you were like, you read and you were like, I kind of know this answer, but I got to come back to that. And you finished up you finished the rest of the questions. There are going to be some things in life that you might say, you know what? Thank you, God, for putting that in my spirit, but I know this is not the right time for me to be doing that. And many of us, and particularly women, when we say that we grinding, we hustling, I don't say none of them. I'm not finna grind or hustle because I know who God is to me. I don't have a problem with anybody saying that. I'm just saying, for me and my house, we just do exactly what we know that we need to do, right? And so I want us to not forget about knowing that there are going to be things that are in your life, and it may be things that come up. To some people, it's going to be a magnificent opportunity. For you, it's going to be a great opportunity, but it may not be the best opportunity for you right now. I wish somebody would have told me that, because in my life, while I was traveling all over the world, going Perth, Australia, going to speaking in South Africa, doing all these things, I had young babies. And yes, they had a dad. But let me tell you something, beloved. There's nothing like a nurturing, nice, beautiful mom. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it, right? And I remember my grandmother, I tell you, she is the most remarkable woman that I have ever seen that has come into my life. There's nothing. I remember where she would wake up in the morning and baby, she would make biscuits. I ain't talking about just biscuit stuff, but if you got to make biscuits with Bisquick, that's okay. I'm just going to, pop mine out of a can the majority of the time because I ain't got time for that. Because I just don't want to. And I don't have no little kids here to be like, Mom, make me some biscuits. No. And my husband don't even eat carbs pretty much at all. But here's the thing. I recall her waking up at 6:30 in the morning. I'm sorry, 5:30 in the morning, making biscuits from scratch. You remember back in the day, and she had like a rolling pin, but she didn't have one of those little things that would form the actual biscuit. Come on, Michelle, Beniqua, y'all know what I'm talking about. And what did she do? She took a glass. This is how you know how to cook. She took a glass, flipped it over, and made the most perfect biscuit, baby, and drizzled it with some real butter. Not no margarine. Drizzled it with a little bit of butter. And then I remember her sprinkling a little salt on that. Have mercy. Lord have mercy. And then I recall her saying to me, she would say, Annie, are you watching? And I'd be like, yes, ma'am, I'm watching. Sleepy as I don't know what. I'm watching. That's how I can recall it. That's how I can recall her putting a little bit of lard. I don't even know if they sell lard anymore. Put a little bit of that up in there. So I'm telling you these stories to let you know that even embedded in your purpose, somebody's always, and particularly your children or your grandchildren, they're always watching. They're always listening. Even when you think that, even when you think that they're not, they're always listening. They're always watching. We always talk about training our children in the way that they should go, that when they get older, that they will not depart. But a lot of things you can train your children in, but many things your children are catching from you. They're catching it. My grandmother used to put on lotion a certain way. And I used to marvel at that. She would take her rings off and she would do this. And I'd be like, that looks so manly. But I can tell you this much. She wasn't rusty. She wasn't crusty, right? And so I'm saying this to you to say this. This series that I had on purpose living, really wanting you to dive in to who you know that you are as a human being on this planet Earth. Do what you know that you enjoy, what you love, have a relationship with God. And when you have that relationship with God, baby, let me tell you, He will start to download things to you. He will start to download things to you. One of the things I can really say, uh, I'm I'm not really easily impressed, but there are a few people I can really tell you that I'm very impressed by. And yes, these are individuals that are in my tribe or one of the tribes that I'm in. But I can tell you this, when you see people that have a vision for their life, when you see and you have an opportunity to speak to individuals that have vision, and not only have a vision just to say, I have a vision, but to have a vision and then implement that vision, I'm always impressed by that. I'm impressed by people that are in our tribe, like Michelle, like Michelle Johnson. I'm sorry, Michelle Williams, like Michelle Hardy, like Carrie, like Vaniqua, like Tracy, like Shima, like Aaron, like Anthony, like so many individuals. T, Girly Marie, Carrie. I'm so impressed that you had a vision and you decided to implement it. I think it's powerful. I think it's powerful beyond measure. I think it's powerful for individuals like Sheba that is going to be going and mentoring our young African girls in the next couple of months. I think it's powerful. She's a solution to somebody's problem. And so, with that being said, I want to encourage you that whatever you think, just know once you think it, it starts to process, it gets into your heart, gets into your spirit, it's going to happen. If you continually dwell on it, thinking on it, because eventually you're going to execute it. Eventually you're going to execute it. So from the top all the way down, because eventually it's going to happen. I'm glad for those that stayed because I want to introduce you to what I will be doing starting in November. So one of the things that I have been doing some research on, if any of you have an opportunity to see a documentary called When the Bow Breaks, it's not the movie. This is a documentary that's really speaking about women's health, right? And not just their health when it comes to their physical health, but also their mental health. And I have been experiencing individuals, some of them are clients, but that are really, really having this deeper level conversation about their own mental wellness, right? Yeah. And so one of the things that I began to do was I said, this keeps coming. Like it keeps coming, right? And for me, when I keep seeing certain things, I believe in signs. I do. And I kept seeing certain things. And as I have been on social media since 2017 and have been speaking on here since 2017, I enjoy this hobby. There is no monetary value in what I'm doing, but that does not mean it's not significant. And so now, as I am springboarding and really wanting to help as many women in particular that I can, women of color in particular as well, that I can. So I started doing some research. And in my research, as some of the individuals that have come to me, even some family members that perhaps deal with emotions and deal with mental wellness, I came across this book called Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. I'm going to hold it up, right? It's called Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, The Emotional Lives of Black Women. And it's by Inger Burnett Ziegler, PhD. What I want to do is I want to read this. And I know you think, oh, it's just going to be about emotion. Well, it's not. I want to say this. When I started reading this today, I could not put this book down, right? I couldn't put this book down. Listen to this. Somebody just asked me. It's called Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with this, right? Here's just the intro. Everywhere that we turn, we're surrounded by beautiful, intelligent, strong Black women. I'm sure that you can name many in your own life and in your own circle. And in fact, you're probably one of them. Today's strong Black women are grinding at work and climbing professional ladders. At every event, the hair is laid, the nails are done, dressed to perfection. And nowhere is a trace of trouble to be found. They're sitting there, even next to you at church, volunteering at community events, and at your book or wine club. They are doing whatever they need to do to take care of their children and extended family with or without the help of a partner. They are working multiple jobs, trying to make it in a system designed to prevent them from getting ahead. Strong Black women are not just the backbone of society. They are its breath and its heartbeat. I'm reading this to you because do I know that there are hundreds and thousands and millions of women across this world that can relate to this? This book is specifically geared towards Black or African desperate women. But I believe as I began to read the intro that this is for many women of color. Many women of color. So what I have decided to do in this particular book, and I want to say one of the things that Mary J. Blige said about this book. She said, Black women give and give to the point of emotional exhaustion. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Let us know how to break this unhealthy cycle by learning self-forgiveness. Come on, Mary J. Blige, which through God's help leads to self-love and the power to say no. I come first in my life. Now, as all of you know, I love everybody, but I have continued to see a cycle, and particularly when it comes to women's health and what's happening to women. I continue to see where it's great to have a fantastic business. It's great to be doing a dang thing. But let me tell you something, and this has come around just 180 degrees for me because I wrote about Superwoman Syndrome. And in my book that I co-authored called Level Up, the Handbook to Unleash Your Greatness. And when I came across this book, so I told you I believe in signs, right? So when I came across this book and I read that intro, and I've been having individuals, I've been having some clients that are that I with executive coaching that I perform, and that individual women that I mentor as well. And this thing is coming around again about taking care of yourself, about having balance in your life. It's great to have a fantastic booming business. I don't care how much money you make. If you don't have you and your mental wellness is not intact, baby, you will lose whatever you got quickly. And as a matter of fact, if you take it too far, you will find yourself not even wanting the things that you actually work so hard for. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to start a book club. Yes, this is new and I'm almost done. So I'm going to give you all a whole entire month. So starting in December, I will be trying to get my calendar. So starting in December, I will, along with whomever else, when I come on, we're going to be talking about Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, the emotional lives of Black women. This book talks about having balance in your life. It speaks about how we give up so much of ourselves. And even if you're not a Black woman or an African American woman, whichever one you prefer, you can still get this book and read it so that you can learn. Come on, God, so that you can learn what some of your friends, your African American friends, your Black female friends have gone through, and sometimes what they are continually going through. That's a friend. That's a friend indeed. That's a friend. And so I don't have no I don't know. I'm not getting no royalties from this or anything such as that. It just was a book that I saw and I read the intro and I started reading it. I just got it from Amazon. It took 2 days for me to get it. I think this book was like $19.99. If I had a coupon code, I would give it to you, but I don't. I don't even, I know the author now because I did a little bit more research on her. But I want to say, so if anyone is going to go with me and with this book club, and we're going to talk about, I'm going to bring people on, right? So in this book club, I'm looking for 10 individuals, right? 10 individuals that will say, I want to learn more about what happens. I want to engage in and be a solution and be an ally. You could be an ally to Black and African American women. You can do that as well. One of the things that I also do is that I'm a diversity, equity, and inclusion trainer for companies. And one of the things is many organizations and companies, Fortune 500, even Fortune 100 companies now, they are really looking at DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion training. And if you're going to look at that training, you have to also understand people that don't look like you, or at least have some type of information. You have to also have some empathy. And I can say it because I am a woman that is of color. I am an African American woman or Black woman, right? And so that is what I continue to see, that companies and organizations, I don't know if you all knew this, that African American women have more degrees than any other gender and more degrees than any other ethnicity. Yet we make less than any other gender and any other ethnicity. Yep. All facts. If you get a chance, look it up. So if you would like to be a part of my Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, The Emotional Lives of Black Women by Dr. Inger Burnett Ziegler, please let me know in the comment section. I'm not going to start it until December, because I want to give you all enough time to actually get this particular book. It shouldn't only take a couple of days though, so maybe I might change it. But I know the holidays are coming up. Got Thanksgiving coming up as well, and my anniversary is coming up as well. But I want to have a book club, and that's what we're going to do. And so if it's two people, it's two. If it's just me, it's just me. If it's me, Michelle, Vanika Shima, that's who it's going to be. And I really would love to have as many of you, but the capacity, I think on my StreamYard might be 10. But just to come in, maybe we could Zoom it, but I prefer StreamYard right now, to come in and just have some conversation about this book. So if you want to know where to get it, it's I got it from Amazon. Here is, if you want to screenshot this. Wait, hold on. If you want to screenshot it, you can screenshot it, and that's the name. And will you let me know? Thank you, Dr. Baniqua. If you want to let me know in the comment sections when you actually have gotten your book and you said you're ready. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a date out and let you know when we're going to get started. And we're just going to have a conversation about this. So this is my book club. And maybe somebody had asked me about doing a book club before, but I didn't think the timing was right. But I think the timing is right now. And so we're going to go through this particular book and see how long it takes us. And maybe we do three chapters maybe we do 3 chapters a week, and then we come and we have conversation. It's only 200 pages. It's not that thick. 200 and about 50 pages, right? All right. Well, I want to say this to you, that I love you and I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. You could be doing absolutely anything, but you have decided to be here. You have decided to be here. And so I want to just say from my heart to yours, take care of yourself. Make sure that you know that, and you tell your children that they are important to you. I also want to say congratulations to Michelle Hardy on her upcoming Children and Literacy fundraiser that's going to be in March in Oakland, California. I truly believe that that's already going to be sold out. I believe that the tickets go on sale November the 1st, which I believe is maybe Monday, I think. Tickets go on sale on November the 1st, and I will be the keynote at that particular event. And since we're talking about that, how about this? Mi corazón es a sleep everything in a rose gold and married glow from me. I couldn't pinpoint on the globe, so I wanted to go from it. Just know that I don't fit in, but I want to feel everything, yeah, everything, yeah, everything, yeah, everything, yeah, everything, yeah, everything, yeah, everything, yeah. I got my eyes low with the sky flows where the rhyme flows. I don't really know just what we might go with the mind. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. A woman with a vision. And I'm very proud to know Michelle Hardy. She is everything good. And as many of you know her, she always talk about candy. Candy means everything good and sweet. So I want to say thank you for joining me on today on Purpose Living with Antoinette Marie. I want to say get your book and let me know in a comment. Send me a DM and let me know that you did receive your book. And go ahead and get started. If you go ahead and read the entire book, that would be wonderful. I will be checking in with you also this weekend. I have an engagement that I'm going to be doing, and so I'll check in with you all as well. And as always, if you have a husband or a wife, let them know that they are important to you and show them that you love them. Love is not just what you say, it is also what you do. If you have children, let them know that they are important to you, your lifespan, and your longevity, because they are your legacy. And even if you don't feel like that they reciprocated to you, that has nothing to do with what you do and how you show love for them. So love one another. Pay for somebody's groceries this weekend. You're going to feel fantastically dynamic. I don't care if it's $10. pay for it, and let me know how that felt, right? This is Antoinette Marie Williams of Antoinette Marie Speaks and Purpose Living. Have a fantastic weekend, beloved. I'll talk to you soon. Be well. Hello, beloved. This is Antoinette Marie. I believe that every one of us is born with a purpose. No matter who you are, what you do, or how far you think you have to go, you have been tapped by a force greater than yourself to step into your God-given calling. And I also believe that each one of us has an essential role in the whole of humanity. You see, the purpose of me creating Antoinette Marie Speaks is to offer the wisdom of experience from visionaries, artists, teachers, and trailblazers who have walked this road before you and who have shared their inspiration and lessons with me. So let's go. Let's take this journey together and let's discover the purpose for your life on this earth. This is Antoinette Marie Williams.